Hi, I'm Sarah Jane. Welcome to my kitchen. Just because I'm a registered dietitian and enjoy cooking doesn't mean I'm perfect in the kitchen. Far from it. I have made plenty of mistakes, and oftentimes these things happen when there's no time to start over, like right before company comes over. Yikes. So I have learned a few quick fixes for common cooking mistakes that I use quite often in my kitchen, and hopefully you will find them helpful in your kitchen as well. The first common mistake is overcooking veggies, whether roasting, steaming, or grilling, until they are soggy. This can easily happen because sometimes it is difficult to know when your vegetables are perfectly al dente and not overcooked. The key is to watch the color of the veggie. You want it to be vibrant just before it turns dark or dull. However, if you miss the mark on this, I have a quick fix for you. If the veggies aren't too far gone, quickly place them into a bowl of cold water like I've done here with my asparagus, which will stop the cooking process and prevent them from losing their delicious texture. You can then sprinkle some cheese on top of them and broil them for a short time, just until they are lightly crisp. If the veggies are too overcooked for that, you can always puree them and serve them in a soup or as a sauce instead. My second mistake is adding too much spice to a dish. Sometimes it's hard to understand that a little spice can go a long way, and what looks like just a little pinch can end up tasting like a lot. My quick fix for a dish that is too spicy is to add some sweetness to it if the flavor profile of the dish allows. It could be honey, like I'm using now, or jam, or sugar, or even some dried fruits. Or if you're making a dish that should only be savory and saucy, like a pasta dish, for example, you could add some sour dairy, like sour cream or plain Greek yogurt, to balance out the flavor of what you're making. Meat can be easy to overcook, especially if you're not in the practice of using a meat thermometer to check the internal temperature. There are several variables, including the thickness of the meat, how firm it is, the temperature of your grill, and timing that goes into making a perfect juicy chicken or steak. No matter what, you'll always want to let the meat rest for 10 minutes or so after removing it from the heat before you cut into it. This locks the juiciness in. However, if your meat is still a little too dry even after resting, try this quick fix. Simply slice the meat, as I'm doing here, and make sure that you go against the grain. And then we are going to grab a plate and get it all plated up and add a little sauce. And this could be any kind of sauce. It could be a quick gravy that you make from any juices that were reserved from your meat, or it could be a bottled steak or barbecue sauce, or even a little marinara sauce. But I think since I'm having some grilled chicken and I'm kind of in the mood for that today, I'm going to do some barbecue sauce. So I just get it all plated up in slices, and then just gonna top it with my sauce, and no one will ever know. It'll taste nice and moist and juicy. One mistake I often make when cooking a meal that has several different dishes is that one item might be cooking much more quickly than the rest, but they all need to be ready at the same time. The quick fix is to simply either turn the heat down and let it cook for a longer time at a lower temperature, or kill the heat completely and come back to finish cooking it right before all the other dishes are ready. Last but not least, anyone else out there accidentally overdressed a salad? If you have, never fear. To avoid a soggy mess, my tip is to simply add more greens. But be sure that they are hearty greens like romaine, kale, or cabbage, because these will better stand up to the extra dressing, and you won't have to add very much of them to make a big difference. I'm Sarah Jane. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen today.